Third round tomorrow afternoon, then the quarter-final, semi-final and the final in the evening session. Peter Wright is a former winner on the European Tour. He won the European Darts Open in Dusseldorf in 2014. He made the final of one of these Euro Tour events last year as well. Whereas Stephen Bunting has come into a bit of form of late, and very welcome to see. We're just having a little bit of a conflab about the board, and it looks like we're going to change it. I'm not sure what the issue is. Just around the treble 20 area. Dan Dawson in the commentary box, Rod Harrington alongside me. What do you think the issue is there?
Well, normally we put a new board up for each game, and perhaps it's just been missed that they hadn't put a new board up. I mean, let's be honest, the way these guys are pummeling that treble 20 and just around it does take a hammering. But how's your luck for Stephen Bunting? He had to play Steve Beaton in the first round. Now he's got Peter Wright.
Well, whoever comes through this and finds themselves in the last 16 will probably have to have played some pretty good darts, because, as I said, Stephen Bunting has come into a bit of form lately. Won his second PDC ranking event.
That's got to go left. Yeah, I can see that from here, Dave.
Well, that's impressive, because you've got worse eyesight than Gary Anderson.
Not at that sort of distance.
Right, OK.
At 1,000 yards, I've got absolutely first-class eyesight.
Eyes of the hawk. It's like Marshall Bravestar sat alongside him. But yes, he won his second PDC ranking event, Stephen Bunting, very recently at the Players' Championship. And Peter Wright, I think it just gets better and better. Certainly the outfits are consistently impressive. Harlequin theme for the man from East Anglia. Winner of this one will face Cristo Reyes, the Spaniard, who was a winner earlier on today. In fact, the very first game of the day against Brendan Dolan. So a little hold up with that board change. The players going through their practice routines. And then we will launch into one of the big clashes here at the German Darts Masters this evening. Michael Van Gerwen against René Haydens. Last game up.
Peter to throw first. Game on.
This is the world number 5 against the world number 13. Peter Wright will be the favourite.
105.
But not by a great deal, I would suggest.
I don't understand that third dart. Sometimes that's just sending out a message that I can play on a 25 because you can't beat me. Peter Everson was great at that.
Yeah?
Yes, he would do that an awful lot. Not something I would suggest to the youngsters.
Well, didn't we see a rather remarkable game? Was it the UK Open qualifiers? David Pallett and Michael Van Gerwen. Pallett tried to take out 150 on 3 bullseyes. He missed it. And then Van Gerwen did exactly that and took it out on 3 bullseyes, just to show him how it's done. I mean, that has got... It's one thing having somebody take 150 out against you, but to do it on 3 bullseyes and to do it when you've just failed to do it.
60.
Yeah. I love that.
It kind of turns around what you tried to do, doesn't it, and throws it straight in your face.
Hoist by your own petard.
Yes.
93.
Stephen Bunting just getting his nose in front in the early stages of his leg.
Well, you know, right, if he hadn't gone with that 25 and it found the
60.
treble 20, you know, it'd be a good few points in front, but now it's struggling to win this first leg, and it was with the throw. And that's a great visit from Bunting. He's going to get at least 1 dart at a double.
So Stephen Bunting probably, he was looking at the treble 20 for double 4. As it is, it's going to be double 16.
52.
And this is gettable for Peter Wright.
116.
Well, it is a good check out. 2 darts at the same treble, or has he gone 19s? If he's gone 19s, there's still 2 darts at the same treble. Okay, once the treble 19 leaves him double top, which is not hit. So 98. Bunting comes back. Can't afford to let these chances go. It's a breaker throw.
Yeah, gets it. Last start it may be, but that is enough. And Stephen Bunting gets a breaker throw to start this one off. Both hugely popular players, particularly here in Germany. The German crowd absolutely love Peter Wright.
99.
Well, they love him all over the world. When he was in Japan last year, I mean, he had more followers than Van Gerwen or Taylor. We were thinking, are we going to get a crowd? And all of a sudden, 1,000 people turned up, and half of them were dressed like Peter Wright.
60.
One of them was dressed like a giant camcorder, as I recall.
He
in
was,
Japan.
yes.
Even had a light that lit up. It was amazing.
58.
That was the night I got mistaken for Barry Hearn.
95.
Quite funny, really.
Wow.
Not funny for Barry, got mistaken for me.
Saw a visibly emotional German darts fan last night asking for your autograph in the bar. Right?
But the one who couldn't remember my name.
Admittedly. And that's the first maximum of the match. Peter Wright gets it as he looks to hit back after having his throw broken in the opening leg. Bunting just checking his score. And he's got to find another treble. And does so.
132.
We're certainly making the call of George Noble earn his wages. They go for treble 18 now. That'll leave him double 16.
98, leaving you at 131.
Well, it's a big one. It's not going to go.
99.
He's left himself very handily placed now. Peter Wright, can he take out the 68? Double 4. Hit straight back, 14 darter, and it's another breaker throw. One apiece here.
Peters in throw first. Game on.
Best run that Stephen Bunting has had on the European Tour was a run to the semi-finals. He did that
60.
in single. We did it twice in 2014. He did it at the German Darts Masters when it was held in Berlin. It was a great tournament we had in Berlin. 4 world champions in the semi-finals. Phil Taylor, Stephen Bunting, Michael Van Gerwen and Adrian Lewis. In the end, it was Taylor that beat Bunting and went on to beat Michael Van Gerwen in the final. But he also did it in single thing that year. Ended up losing to Michael Smith in the semi-finals.
122.
That was his first year on the PDC when everything was going his way. I mean, he was just regularly making it to the quarterfinals and semi-finals of ranking events. He won his second tournament.
But then Stephen Bunting changed his darts, didn't he? And it was the downturn of his form. And I was speaking to him last night, and you know, he's upbeat about getting in the Premier League. And now getting back in there, he said, I'm playing well, I'm putting in a lot more practice.
140.
Yeah, he's practicing hours and hours a day, doing a lot of practice with Anastasia, isn't he? And he says that, you know, that's helped his game. He certainly has been doing a lot of practice with Dave Punnett as Peter Wright fires in the maximum. Number 2 for snake bites, but is it going to be to no avail? Well, no. He's got him back in this leg, and looking to hold throw and go 2-1 up.
Well, Peter Wright took out 68 cleanly in 2 darts in the previous leg. He's going to have to take 3.
59. Stephen required 12.
Right on the wire. Oh, that's unfortunate. Double 3.
6.
I mean, if you walked up,
You required
you
20.
couldn't put them darts any closer without them going in. However, no cigars for being close
Peter Wright.
as Peter Wright steps up.
Stephen to throw first.
It was to hold his throw.
Yeah, if you get 3 clear darts at doubles and you miss, then you're obviously disappointed. But I mean, there's missing by a fraction, and then there's a bad miss, and they weren't bad darts.
But if Stephen Bunting goes on and loses this match, he will look at leg 3 and go, I had 3 clear darts to break the throw. That was where the downturn was.
60.
Now look, there's 1 in 9 in the early part of the match. Stephen Bunting on his doubles. That is going to have to improve against the world number 5.
140.
Seen superb performances tonight already. Jelle Klaasen was fantastic in a 6-0 whitewash of Ronnie Hybrax as Bunting fires in his first maximum. Adrian Lewis looked very impressive as well in winning his match, and Michael Smith was given a stern examination by Geoffrey de Graaf but came through it.
Yes, he run the gauntlet there a little bit, Michael Smith. Won the last leg against the throw.
89.
Jelle Klaasen also had a great match. 6 legs to 0.
Yeah, nearly 105 average. Standout performance of this tournament so far. We saw a very good display yesterday from Kevin Painter, who is still in the tournament, having won this afternoon. And Stephen Bunting holds his throw, and it's 2 apiece. And perhaps as expected, there's not a great deal between these two right now. They've met 11 times, Peter Wright and Stephen Bunting. Who do you think leads in the head-to-head stats? Right?
Stephen Bunting.
Quite right. Not by much. There was 1 draw, but then 6 wins for Bunting, 4 for Peter Wright.
121.
The interesting stat about Peter Wright is that Phil Taylor's never beaten him in the Premier League.
Yeah, nearly did the other night. Couldn't quite get over the line. And that's another maximum for Stephen Bunting. 2 apiece now.
There's 4 darts to the double Phil Taylor had and couldn't close it out.
121.
Well, again, Stephen Bunting's in the driving seat to break the throw of Peter Wright. 3 clear darts he missed in the previous leg on Wright's throw.
140.
And he's going to get another 2 darts.
Double 16. Well, another one of those will do.
25.
And again, missed darts to get control of the game. And Peter Wright, he is so good at these sort of combinations. Double 10. And another sucker punch from Peter Wright to the game of Stephen Bunting. And how long does it take before Bunting starts to get a bit angry with himself? But over the last, 2-3 years, we have seen Peter Wright do that so many times. I mean, that's why he's always in the latter stages of most of the tournaments. I mean, and unbelievably, he hasn't won, a TV event yet.
Yeah, you'd think it's only a matter of time, but you'd have said that about so many players over the years, and Terry Jenkins is the obvious one to mention, but there are others. And the longer it goes on, potentially, you would think the harder it becomes, but the thing is, Peter seems to have such a healthy attitude to it, in that he doesn't mind, he can shrug off a defeat and go hard again in the very next tournament. And
I think you're exactly right, Dan. He's got a great attitude. What happened yesterday has no relevance on today, and that's the way you have to look. I mean, he got beaten up in the Premier League, and the very next day he goes to Barnsley and wins a tour event.
Yeah,
that's proof that he can just forget and carry on.
Because a lot of players, we've talked about the damaging psychological effects that getting beaten heavily and getting beaten repeatedly can have, and players just fade away, sometimes for good. But Peter Wright, whenever you knock him, he seems to come back stronger, and he's added the scoring power to his game. He's hitting a lot more 180s now than he was, say, 3 years ago.
Well, he actually leads the 180 count for the whole of the Premier League.
He did for a while, didn't I think he's been superseded by Michael van Gerwen now, but over, I think it was a 200-leg spell.
220 legs, I think it was, yeah.
And he was hitting more than anybody else. Double top he wants now, though. And now it's Peter Wright's turn to miss a double. But Stephen Bunting is only hitting 2 out of 13. That's 15%. Can he put this right? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And it's a level game once more.
Game on.
However, it was only to hold his throw. So still work for Stephen Bunting. 2 of the legs that Peter Wright is thrown first. Bunting has had darts at a double. 2 in one leg, 3 in another.
I mentioned the head-to-head stats between these two. A couple of the meetings are very recent. One was at the first European Tour event. That was won by Peter Wright, 6-4 in Venray at this stage of the tournament.
100.
And then at the second Players' Championship event just a fortnight ago, the one that Stephen Bunting went on to win, he beat Peter Wright 6-5. So 2 recent meetings, 1 win each. They've both gone at least 10 legs. Bunting going on to beat Michael van Gerwen in the final of that one, and I think that day he beat Thornton, Adrian Lewis, Andrew Gilding, Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen. Now you don't do that if you're not playing well, and that's got to be healthy if we're seeing a former world champion in Stephen Bunting and a man who has shown that he can produce some world-class darts. If he's getting back to top form, then that's great news for darts fans.
Oh, it certainly is. And against Adrian Lewis, he was 5-0 down to Lewis. And Lewis had, I think, 3 cleared darts at double 8. And then Bunting got it back and goes on and wins the tournament.
60.
Just the 60. Don't hit another one of those.
139.
Yeah, not the best of scoring legs from Stephen Bunting. 230 after 12 darts.
140.
Although that does yeah, it smartened it up and put a little bit of pressure on, but you feel that Peter Wright's not going to miss this. Now, this is mega important for Bunting to hold on to his throw here. You know, he has commanded the game for the first 6 legs, but all of a sudden he hasn't taken the chances that he's given himself, and now he finds himself under pressure.
Yeah, well, in these first round, whenever Steve beaten, he found himself in this position. He was 4-3 down. But that's when he turned it on. He went 13 darter, 13 darter, 15 darter, won it 6-4. He's going to have to do something similar, maybe even better, against Peter Wright here. You see, yet to see a 13 darter in this match, but nothing. Well, everything taking 5 or 6 visits to the board as Peter Wright gets back into this leg with a maximum.
That's a good return, and a return that he had to find.
You see Stephen Bunting outscoring Peter Wright, but it's the finishing that's been the problem. And against Steve Beaton, he was hitting 75% of his doubles, and that's been the difference. But this game is not over. He's got 6 darts from 161 to make it a level game at 4 apiece. Yeah, sensible use of the bullseye leaves him on a 2-darter. If he just hit a single 20, 101, he'd need all 3 darts to see it off. So he could get 2 darts at a double when he returns, but there's going to be some pressure. There's going to be some serious pressure.
Well, that's the second maximum that Peter Wright's hit in this leg. And he wants a double after 12, and this is a crucial check out for Stephen Bunting. Will he go double 18? Double top.
Oh! Stephen Bunting! You only hit him 1 in 5 in doubles, and then you hit 2 in consecutive darts under massive pressure. What a visit that is from the former Lakeside champ.
That's 180s back-to-back for Peter Wright. 3 in the previous leg. And he starts this leg off with 1.
Well, he did say that he's added 180s to his game over the last year or 2. German crowd baying for a 9-darter.
60.
It's a very conservative footwear Peter Wright's got. Usually he's got like sort of multicoloured cowboy boot type things going on. Depressingly understated this evening.
Yes, I have to agree. He normally got the snake skin or something.
I think they are probably, yeah.
100.
Just the ton. That's enough for now, unless... Well, Bunting's not going to fill it up with that.
55. Video 161.
Yeah, they were a little bit snazzy, I suppose. Treble 19. Not what he was after, and it may mean he only gets 1 dart at a double. Stephen Bunting's got it all on to apply some pressure. Good start.
It's a very good visit from Stephen Bunting.
Video ball 74.
Peter Wright to go 1 leg away on the next round. 24 double top. Double top it is. Another combination check out from Peter Wright.
Yeah, that's very good. Very, very good. 5 out of 7 on his doubles, and when you're hitting 71% of your finishes, you don't have to be scoring at the very top of your game to win matches, but Peter Wright is just stuck in a 6th 180. It's been an odd performance. He's at 71% at 6 180s. You'd think he'd be averaging 110, but in actual, it's just been some messy visits in between.
Yeah, that's terrible unlucky. Really could be costly to Stephen Bunting. Another perfect dart from Peter Wright. 5 perfect darts from Peter Wright. Can't believe he missed that. I really could not believe he missed that. That was so open. However, Peter Wright just interested in the leg.
Well, under massive pressure against Steve Beaton, Stephen Bunting produced some really good darts to win the game in the first round. Peter Wright has gone 5 darts into a perfect 9-darter here, and Stephen Bunting has still given himself a chance. He only needs 1 dart in the treble to get a dart at a double and take us to a deciding leg. Oh, still on. Needs the treble 20. Doesn't get it.
85.
He does set it up now. Peter Wright, 1-2-1 for the match. Treble 17. Bullseye for the game. Gets it bang in the middle.
Dead centre.
Peter Wright, an outstanding display of finishing from the world number 5. 75% and a 12-darter in the 10th leg to win it 6-4. Stephen Bunting played his part in that one, but a few missed doubles, particularly early on in the game, perhaps let Peter Wright off the hook. Bunting's challenge comes to an end at the German Darts Masters, but Peter Wright, well, we will see him in the final day of action tomorrow when he will face Christo Reyes for a place in the quarterfinals. We have got another 4 games coming up for you in the second round. There's going to be a brief pause before the gentle Mensur Suljovic, a multiple European Tour semi-finalist, makes his way to the stage as he takes on the jammy dodger, James Wilson.
Congratulations, Peter. Peter, what a way to finish a game. I think the last start, it was so 100% in the middle of the bullseye. It was the perfect throw.
Yeah, I took my time, made shot. Otherwise, that could have been my last start in the match. So you have to try 110% on your last start.
Also ich habe gerade gesagt, wenn man hier daneben steht, ist jetzt, man sieht es wirklich, wo der letzte Pfeil im Bullseye eingeschlagen hat. Der war so mittig und er hat gesagt, ja, er hat sich dafür die Zeit genommen für den letzten Dart. Das hätte ansonsten vielleicht sein überhaupt letzter sein können. Deswegen hat er sich da voll drauf konzentriert und den wirklich perfekt ins Bullseye gesetzt. Peter, what's the thing with Stephen Bunting and you? Always when you're playing, it's always a great match. It's very close. It's high averages. It's just fun to watch. What's the reason always when you against Stephen?
Because he's a world champion, and I always play well against, or try and play well against every world champion I play. I haven't won no tournaments, well, majors. I'm here to make up the numbers.
Ich hab ihn gefragt, woran liegt es eigentlich, dass jedes Mal, wenn er gegen Stephen Bunting spielt, so eine Hammerpartie dabei rauskommt? Und er sagt, naja, Stephen ist auch ein Weltmeister, ehemaliger Weltmeister der BDO, und er versucht es immer speziell gegen die Weltmeister sein bestes Darts auszupacken. Und er hat zwar noch kein Major-Turnier gewonnen, aber er ist hier, um auf jeden Fall weiter Titel zu sammeln. Thank you very much, Peter Wright.